Let me see. Okay. Brandon asked, so my assessor job, I start on 28th in Virginia, required me to have the CASP or COISA plus or my CISSP or CISM. And I believe you said you got one of those. You said you had the CASP, I think. I have the CASP and the COISA. Wow, you are hardcore, man. You're not messing around. Was the CASP hard? Somebody told me it was really hard. And then Brandon also says, but I also have my top secret SCI poly, which they need. Wow, man. Definitely got overestimated. Definitely got overestimated salary. That's awesome, man. Congrats on that job. Security Plus is very hard, but I made it through it. Wow, yeah, I heard that was one of the smartest people I know said it was hard. So I know that shit's hard. It's gotta be hard if he says it's hard. And he had to see CISP, and CISP was like it was really that's the hardest test I've ever taken. Um, so how do how does one acquire these skills? That's a good question. How does one acquire this? Are you talking about cybersecurity in general, or let me get more context into your question, DDQ. Let me see here. I've got so many questions, guys. Just bear with me here. I've got a whole bunch of people on TikTok, surprisingly, asking a whole bunch of so much interaction on here. Says, I have been searching about this for days now. I'm a computer scientist student in the second year, but I'm looking to specialize in cloud and would like some advice on CompTIA or AWS for a startup. Any more questions on this one? If it was me, if I was Michael, if I was in your shoes. So I got this question before. I'm gonna go in on this question. And I apologize. I can't use my screen. I would love to show you. I would love to show you what I mean by this, but I don't know what's going on. I might have to just close all my tabs down while I'm talking to you. Okay. If it was me, if I was a student and I was a I was in computer science, and I'm like, man, I need to start thinking about a career. I know I need to specialize. Am I going to specialize in security? Am I going to specialize in big data analyst? People keep talking about that, hacking. Like, what do I do? I could tell you right now what's really hot. It's going to be hot for the probably next decade. It's going to get hotter and hotter, and it's going to branch out into other things. Is going to be cloud. I would do cloud right now. If I was a student, especially if I was in a technical field and I was in computers and I'm trying to go deeper in computers, I would do cloud. I would do AWS cloud. I'm actually going to do it myself real soon here. Once I get this job, they asked me a bunch of cloud questions. Like recently had 5 interviews back to back. Okay. Cause I'm in between jobs. That's why I'm able to do so much content. Cause I'm just focusing on my business. Anyway, so I had 5 interviews. First interview I had was some local position. I wanted to work remotely, so it wasn't going to work out with us. But I did okay in that interview, and they actually said they mentioned cloud. They were like, "Yeah, we have a couple cloud-based systems," and that was their mention of cloud. And then I go to another one. This was like for a hospital, and they asked me, "Hey, they were talking about vulnerability management, which is not really what I do." And so that we weren't, it wasn't compatible. It wasn't going to work out, right? So we both they said, "Well, if something comes up," but they also mentioned cloud. They said something comes up for something that's more in line with what you do. I really like you. I'll call you back and let me ask. We did have something for compliance, but look, we'll see. They never called me back. Next 2 jobs. They were more based on risk management framework, security compliance, stuff I do, GRC type stuff. And so I nailed it. I knocked it out the park. Both of them talked to me about cloud. One was like, "Yeah, do you have any experience getting cloud systems certified?" That means getting them through the process where they are will be authorized by the government to operate sensitive information. And I said, yeah, actually, I've done a couple of systems. Like, oh yeah, good. That's awesome. The next interview I had, asked him, this dude started off, and this guy's gonna be my boss, I believe. So he started off hammering me about cloud questions, and I'm like, what is going in my mind? I'm still in interview mode, but I'm like in the back. I'm like, why is he asking me so many questions about cloud? Like, what is happening here? What did I apply for a cloud position by accident? Like, what's happening? Is this the wrong interview? Because I was bombing all the cloud questions. So I'm so surprised they called me back and gave me a second, third interview. So that's the job I'm getting. But I did not do well on the cloud portion of that interview. Let me tell you, they were asking me all kinds of questions about cloud. If I was a student right now, I would do cloud. That's what I would do. Um, Cloud, every place I went to asked me about cloud. And here's what, let me tell you, let me show you what I would do. Exactly what I would do. It's going to start off easy and it's not going to stay easy. It's going to be hard. It's going to start off easy and then it's going to get hard. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So this right here, cloud, AWS, and I already mentioned this a couple times because the writing's on the wall. AWS, and the reason why I said it, okay, there's many different cloud platforms. Okay, there's Azure, there's which is from Microsoft. There's Oracle has their own cloud service. Oracle's always jumping in on the bandwagon late, except on databases. Let me show you cloud platforms. Cloud. Oh my Lord, what is happening here? Why won't it let me? I don't know what I did, but it won't. It just keeps going to tabs, and I don't know why. Anyway, so let's let me show you this. So that's good enough. But what I was going to show you is there's many different cloud platforms. You got AWS, which is Amazon. You've got Google has its own cloud service. Oracle has its own cloud service. Then there's some open source ones. The top ones in the market right now is AWS, Azure, and Google in that order. They own most of the market share. Why that the reason why that's important is all you old heads having lived through the beginning of the internet and social media, you know how this works. The organization with the biggest market share is the one that's going to have the most impact on the industry. And that's the same thing that's happened with cloud. So if you go back to the 90s when there was this huge battle between browsers, everybody knew browsers was going to be the entryway into the internet, right? I'm going way back like late 90s, mid late 90s. And there was, help me out here, guys. What kind of exercise your memory here? What were the top browsers when that first came out? Mozilla. Was it Mozilla? It wasn't Mozilla had Mosaic. Mosaic was one. What was another browser? Help me out. Mosaic, and they were giving out their stuff for free. And they had the most market share. And what happened was Microsoft came and just nuked them. They copied their browser and they put it out there. And then their browser was number one. It was nothing even close to Internet Explorer when it first came out. Nothing came close because they integrated it into their operating system. And they have most of the market share. So if you wanted to know about browsers, really, you can know Mosaic, but the one to know was Internet Explorer at the time. And then other organizations start chipping away at their market share. You had, I don't know, Firefox came out and started chipping away. It was a better browser. And then finally Chrome came out, which Chrome is just like so much better than the other ones. And it now holds most of the market share. Cloud is no different. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. Cloud is no different. What's happening with cloud services is no different. So right now, Amazon is ahead of the game on cloud services. So you want to do, I would say Amazon, Azure from Microsoft, and Google Cloud in that order would be the one that you should probably do. And the reason why I recommend it is because every organization is using cloud because it's just it's cheaper to go with cloud for their infrastructure, because otherwise they have to manage all this stuff in their organization, and it's more expensive for them to do this. So I would go cloud. I hope that answers your question. It's just going to be better marketability wise. I mean, and hey, I may be wrong. I'm just some guy. I'm just some random dude who has 20 years of cybersecurity experience, but I can see the wind changing here, and the it's like cloud is where it's at right now. At this moment, eventually it'll be blockchain. I think eventually once blockchain becomes more popular and more organizations use it, but they're all starting to test it. Walmart is testing blockchain, like all the JP Morgan, they're all testing blockchain, right? Not only for inventory, but for like they're starting to test it out for like money. Like blockchain is serious. Like that has the potential to be even bigger than cloud and the internet combined. So let me see. Thank you. I'm trying to get experience right now. Appreciate your help, man. They're having us use info skills for learning right now. That's awesome. Let me see. I got a few people. Netscape. Okay. Thank you so much, man. I'm kind of late. Sorry. I've just Netscape. That was the one. Yeah, that's the one I was trying to think of. Thank you so much for that. Explorer, Opera. Yeah, I remember Opera, man. Opera's still a good browser. Absolutely. Thank you so much. You really helped sell this for me. Yeah, man. Cloud's the way to go. That's the way I'm gonna go. Everybody on this live should do cloud. It's like it's that serious, man. It's that serious. That was a wake up call. Those interviews, all those interviews I had, like that was a wake up call. Like Bruce, come on, man. Like you're sleeping at the wheel. You should have been had this certification. You should have had this skill set. Shouldn't have. They're asking me all these questions. I didn't know the answers, and I'm like, damn, I'm slipping. I'm slipping. I got a little too comfortable at my last position, I guess. But my last position, here's the crazy thing about cloud. My last position, they were all pushing all of us to get cloud hard. They were pushing us hard to get cloud, so hard that they were giving us 4 hours a week of time to just do nothing but study. And they were pushing us towards cloud and application security. Hard. They were telling us it got to a point where every week my boss was like, "Hey, did you study that cloud stuff yet?" I'm like, "Oh, come on." Like, yeah, I studied a bit, but I do have like 4 clients. You know what I mean? Like, I had to do that report. So yeah, I mean, I did study, but I'm focused on the work here. So okay, let me see. JP said, let me read a couple things from. Do I have any other people contact? Let me see. Let me see what's going on here. I haven't used this thing before. You're live. Okay. Let me see. I got a couple questions here. JP says, if you want to learn how cloud security integrates with risk management framework, do some FedRAMP training. Yes. So anytime they were asking JP, great comment. I love that, man. This JP dude, you guys to follow this guy. This guy knows what he's talking about. So JP mentioned that if you want to know more about how security compliance, specifically NIST 853, FISMA, that kind of stuff, maps to cloud, you got to go read up on FedRAMP training. So whenever they would ask me questions about Bruce, like, I see you have some cloud training. I see you've done a little bit of stuff on cloud. Like, can you tell me the security differences between a PaaS, platform as a service versus software as a service? Can you tell me? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, damn. But I would always refer back to my only training, which was FedRAMP. I knew FedRAMP stuff, and I would just cite like, well, this is what we did in FedRAMP. Like my experience with cloud was that we had a cloud-based system with the government, and it was based on AWS, and we had to get it approved. And so here's the process that we would do with FedRAMP. So that's all I would do is just cite my experience with FedRAMP, that's all, you know, that kind of got me through it. But I know that's not what they wanted. They wanted me to go a little bit deeper, and that's all I had because I just wasn't doing it every day, and it wasn't something I dove in well enough to really feel confident saying anything about it. You know, that's all going to change here real soon. And if I learn it, let me tell you something, you guys are going to learn it because I'm going to start teaching it. But right now, I'm green, man. I don't know anything. But thank you for that comment, JP. I really appreciate that.